Joe Simonton lives more than 1,000 miles north of Zamora, way up in Wisconsin. He's the animal lover, ex-professional boxer and deputy sheriff, who had the pancakes from the little men in the flying saucer, which landed right here in his driveway.
It was right about that black spot right there.
Right here?
Yeah. And there were 3 men in there. One was making conversations by signs to me. Nobody spoke a word. And one was cooking these pancakes, and one was sitting at a control panel. As I walked over to this thing, this man that was looking at me, he held up a big jug. I call it a jug because it was a water container. It looked like a trophy of some kind. And he motioned that he wanted to drink. That's how I knew. Nobody spoke a word, see? So I walked over to the machine, reached up and got this thing. As he handed it down to me, I turned around and I went to the basement to get water, because water is all I could give him. And when I had my back turned to them, I had goose pimples about a ½ inch high. I don't know why. I just felt that way. You know, turning my back on that
Were
thing.
you scared?
No, I wasn't scared. I don't scare easy, see? I am a deputy sheriff, and I live right, and I don't get scared. I don't, nothing to be scared of.
So you got the water?
I got the water. When I went down in the basement, I took this thing and I looked it all over to see if there's any kind of a name, a scrolling, a number, anything. I was fixed with a pencil and paper, which I always carry in my pocket, so I could take it down as it was, and there wasn't a thing on it. So I filled it with water, brought it back up, and I handed it up to him. And as I handed it up to him, he reached down and took it, and I balanced myself with this hand, this sort of like that, against the machine and stepped back. It's only natural, not that I wanted to touch it. And as I stepped back, I looked up in the hatchway, and here this man was cooking these pancakes, and I didn't know what he was doing. So I pointed to him, and I made a gesture, like eating, see? And this man that took the water, he looked down at me, and he reached over and he got a handful of these pancakes, and he handed them down to me. They happened to be 4. And they were so hot and greasy, I could hardly hold to them. And from that time, he reached up and he got a hold of the hatch. He closed it with a heavy thud, click. And when he closed that, you couldn't a bit more see where that was than you could see a hole in my hand here. It was just that perfect. And with that, they started to raise. They started to raise and raise up about 20 feet high, about the top of this tree. And from there, it was a terrible release of air, just like like that, you know. And they took off straight south on a 45-degree angle up, see? And I would say in 3 seconds, that's an awful short time, but it was a short time that it took them to disappear, and they were gone. Now, they really traveled fast. And there I stood, right here in my driveway, with a handful of hot, greasy pancakes, looking in that direction and seeing nothing, and nothing here to show where it landed. This is the little pancake that I have left. And it's got holes clear through it. I'm going to turn it around so you can see the whole thing. And it's just as thick as it now as it was when I got it. And that's what I got from the flying saucer men. I got 4 of them, and that's the only one I have left, and that's for my own security. I wouldn't take no money, nothing for this little pancake.
Do you think Joe Simonton is lying? I don't, and the United States Air Force took him seriously enough to analyze one of his pancakes.